This YouTube drama is ridiculous. I have no idea which of the countless thousands of YouTube dramas that are constantly happening he's gonna even talk about.
Welcome to the Splash Zone. I'm just gonna cannonball into the pool right away here because this story's got me heated. I am boiling
He's
right
wet.
now. On YouTube, there is one unforgivable sin. An unwritten rule that every creator and user is aware of. It's kind of like a
Copyright
treaty, a
claims.
truce that we've all shaken hands on and accept because it is inexcusable, slimy, and anytime someone tries to take a bite of the forbidden fruit, they rightfully get their cheeks disciplined.
It's copyright. It's something to do with copyright and video claiming.
A very firm spanking from the whole community, and most of the time they end up pretty much losing their career from it, from their own self-destructive narcissism and greed.
Fun fact, he's actually wrong. Most people who abuse this system do not get punished because they abuse smaller creators. And, well, a smaller creator, even if they're getting attacked by someone giant, you know, no one really cares about that when it's happening. It's a miracle if the community at large notices it. So, this is false. There's a lot of people who abuse the system constantly, and they do get away with it.
That is false copyright strikes.
Yep, there you
and
go.
Unfortunately, that's what we're talking about today. A big YouTube channel named Magnates Media is facing termination because he received 3 fraudulent copyright strikes from another YouTube channel named Business Casual, aka
Ooh!
Alex Edson. Now, Alex Edson is a special fucking malicious goofball. You see,
Dude, I have actually reacted to his videos. This guy is an absolute communist, and his business knowledge is very, very dubious in a lot of situations, I would say the least.
this guy didn't even build the Business Casual channel from
He bought
scratch
it.
or anything. He bought it when it was already extremely popular.
Yep.
So he didn't even put the fucking work in, which is an absolute goober move off rip. But you've probably heard of this channel recently because he had a viral video talking about why he's suing YouTube. And while there
Oh,
is some
that.
compelling points and evidence, there's also a bunch of dirty barnacles in here as well, with some shady claims and some claims that were just absolutely wrong, like provably false. But overall, like, the video did have a lot to it, which is why it was so popular. And it was well put together, it was high production, and made some good points. And
Well, if a guy can afford to buy a popular YouTube channel that has a legitimate million subscribers, yeah, he's gonna put a little bit of that sweet ka-ching into that video's production.
some not so great
I haven't
points.
watched it, by
But
the way.
overall, it was kind of odd. And a couple YouTubers actually pointed out a lot of it. In fact, Upper Echelon made 3 videos kind of covering all of it, which I think make very good points. Overall, the whole thing...
Dude, I completely skipped all of this. I didn't see Upper Echelon's videos on this. I didn't watch the original video. I kind of ignored it because it seemed just like so not interesting.
was odd, if nothing else. And now Alex is back from the septic tanks, he's risen from the sewers like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he's bringing bad news. He's striking down Magnates Media with what I and anyone with a functioning cerebral cortex will classify as blatant abuse of the copyright systems.
What did he do?
He's issued 3 strikes to Magnates Media, which sets his channel up for termination in the coming days. He's already received a notice that his channel will be taken down because of these strikes from Business Casual. Let me just lay down the brass tacks here with the level of lunacy we're dealing with these claims. So,
Go for it.
Business Casual is basically taking away Magnates Media's entire livelihood because he believes that some of his content looked similar to his.
Oh, 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 damn! Looked similar. Ain't that a sin?
Based on an editing technique called
Editing
parallax editing. So he struck him 3 times for 3 separate videos. The total...
Okay, so what Moist is saying here already proves the guy has no grounds to do this, because if it's a known editing technique, it most likely is, if it is held as a copyrightable act, it's not by that guy. So anyone who uses an already known technique that is allowed in the public and is not copyrighted, because you can maybe actually get a copyright for a specific technique. It is possible. So that means he has no grounds to stand on if what Moist says is true.
Content time of those 3 videos is over an hour and a half long. And of those 3 videos, in total, 10 seconds, roughly 10 seconds worth of footage, Alex is saying belonged to him. So in one of the videos, it is actually just a single image that lasts for like 3 seconds, and he's saying that he stole it directly from his video because the parallax editing technique was a dead giveaway. But Magnate's Media has proven beyond a shadow of doubt that not only is that image a public domain image, because they were covering a similar topic, so of course they're going to have similar images, because it's a fucking public domain image. It makes sense. So he proved it's a public domain image, and that the parallax editing technique was done by his editor. And he has like a 16-minute video showcasing his editor doing the editing on that photo to prove he didn't take it from Business Casual. And they don't even look similar in any of these cases, but this is how outrageous Alex Edson's claims are.
This is also extra outrageous because even if that guy took the editing technique from that channel, he is recreating it, and that channel has no right to it because they don't have a copyright on it. You can have similar things, similar effects in YouTube videos, and that does not mean that the person you took the technique from owns it. No. The only time that you can copyright strike someone from for owning for an uploaded YouTube video is if they are literally just putting in a video that you own into their own thing. And even then there's like a million small details that you need to consider and so on. So, wow, this already is sounding absolutely ludicrous and completely malicious, to say the least, honestly.
In total, about 10 seconds he has a problem with, saying that it looks similar to his work, thus it must have been stolen, and he has a right to terminate this channel. And Magnate's Media channel will be terminated because of these 3 strikes as of right now. He's already received the notice that it's coming. It's right around the corner. That is fucking frightening and just downright evil from Business Casual.
Also, this is completely crazy from the guy who owns Business Casual because, dude, you're not striking a, like, 1K Andy channel, you know? You're not striking someone who's just making, you know, a fair few bucks off of doing YouTube just as a hobby. Magnate Media can sue them. And they are, without question, winning, even if just 50% what Moist said is true. That is just so... Dude, there's no way Magnate Media is not suing this person. Even if he retracts the claims, which is gonna most likely happen, but hopefully it happens, Magnate Media is probably gonna end up suing him anyway, because this is just a sure victory. They can sue him most likely for defamation, because he publicly claimed that they are thieves and whatnot, if he did that. I'm just speculating here. But most likely he can be sued for defamation, for malice, maybe? I'm not a lawyer, but man, you can sue for a lot in something like this, okay? They have definitely the right to sue him at the bare minimum for damages that this action caused to their brand. There's no question about that, and they're gonna win.
Upper Echelon made an incredible video going over this entire subject from top to bottom, inside and out. I highly recommend checking out that video. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. He does an amazing job breaking it all down thoroughly, as well as some other incredibly fucked up things Alex has done.
If you read the other provisions of the DMCA Safe Harbor, Section 512, it's clear that Congress did not want parties to have to sue to enforce their rights. So while it may be that the system could be gamed on the other side, that's how Congress intended it to be. End quote. That right there is Business Casual arguing that simply because he filed some strikes, it therefore means that YouTube needs to terminate the entire channel without him proving anything in a court of law. That's what we just read, and that appears to be precisely what he's doing now to a channel named Magnate's Media.
What he was reading there comes from a completely different case, but just hearing that is beyond alarming. That is fucking chaos. That is the opening of Pandora's box in the worst way imaginable. So Alex Edson is an actual villain. And what he's doing here is completely unjustifiable, This is beyond fucking tragic. There's absolutely no argument he nor anyone could make on his behalf that would justify him taking down an entire channel, ruining the entire career and livelihood of that creator based on similarity of public domain images. Now, they made videos on similar topics, obviously. They did do that, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like Alex owns that whole topic or anything. And Alex even made a bold claim that Magnates Media stole his scripts from his videos, which is so laughably delusional.
Okay, a little bit about that. Honestly, you can go ahead and steal almost any script of these videos, and as long as you just rewrite a good chunk of them differently, you're in the clear. Because any type of those videos that these channels cover are going to have a lot of Wikipedia information in it. It essentially just copy-pasted from Wikipedia. There's not a lot of ways you can rewrite that. So the fact that those parts are 100% the same is not actually anything unexpected and is actually completely fine.
Imagine he was twirling his little evil mustache when he made that claim, because Business Casual's videos on the same content as Magnate Media is like 19 minutes, 20 minutes long sometimes. Magnate's Media coverage is like 50 plus minutes long. So Magnate's Media does a much more thorough breakdown and deep dive on everything than Business Casual. So how the fuck would he have stolen any of the scripts? But even still, Magnate's Media played ball with it.
That's not a good argument. If one video is 20 minutes long and the other one is 1 hour long, that 1 hour video can still easily steal from the 20-minute video. This is a strange point, Moist. I'm deducting points.
He tap danced with the claims and still proved his innocence by showing all of the timestamps of the editing done to his script from fucking start to finish. Alex tried to claim that he stole his scripts and plugged it into ChatGPT to generate a somewhat different script while still maintaining his video's DNA.
Yo.
He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just using random buzzwords in his stupid little...
That actually can be done, by the way. That actually can be done.
...smooth brain. That's so laughable. What a fucking joke of a person. And it's sickening to see him do this to someone he views as competition. That's the only explanation I can think of for why he even target this channel.
That's true.
There is absolutely no justification or argument someone can make that would convince me that what Alex is doing here is just, and he has a right to do so.
Hell no,
if there really
it's malice.
was an issue where he felt like these images were stolen, like, oh, you took this image that my editor worked hard on editing, he could have reached out to Magnates Media. And Magnates Media has said multiple times on Twitter that he has tried to reach out to Alex himself to try and resolve this whole situation amicably. But Alex isn't responding. He's giving the cold shoulder, fucking full radio silence. But you could have reached out and said, hey, can you remove that? Or some other different solution that doesn't involve striking. That is the nuclear option. That is the harshest punishment that you can dish out. And it's highly unnecessary here when all of the offending content that you believe is too similar to yours only accounts for 10 seconds out of over an hour and a half worth of content.
Dude.
That makes no sense. It's fucking ridiculous.
That is just flat out blatantly nasty.
And it's shameful. It is beyond shameful. Another YouTuber made a great video covering this situation as well, which I'll link in the description too. And he leads to a bigger conversation to be had about what this could mean for the entire platform going forward, as well as he talks about something that I think is important we mention as well. That if Magnates Media tries to push back and defend himself, fight back against Alex Edson legally, Alex Edson may very well just turn around and sue him. He has shown he is more than willing to do that, and it just seems like he is vaguely alluding to the fact that he would be open to doing that against Magnates Media should he try and defend himself against his claims here. So, just an actual piece of shit.
But that's very stupid, because it's... I don't know. Is that guy just a complete idiot? Or maybe he's a literal 100 millionaire? Because if he is a millionaire in the 100 range, then that's kind of understandable. Again, I'm going to say this yet again. The reason big companies do not get smoothed by small companies is very, 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 very simple. Because the big companies, with a lot of money, can drag out the court proceedings into literal years and just completely bankrupt and destroy the smaller companies. But in this case, if that guy was such a big shot and had so much money, he would not buy a channel that had 1 million subscribers. You know, he would buy probably something in the tens of millions or 5 millions or, you know, something like that. That would be a lot more believable. And now he's attacking... Dude, he's gonna lose the lawsuit. There's nothing he can probably sue them on. He's just threatening because, well, these threats do work. These threats, without question, do work. Because if you get sued, that's a chunk of your life just gone. Because you're gonna have to pay attention to that a lot. And, well, that can be pretty well, that is nasty. So, you know, it does work to threaten people like this. That's also a bad thing. But, like, come on. Considering this is so blatantly out in the open and so many people are seemingly talking about this, even though this is my first time hearing about this situation, admittedly it seemingly happened just now, so I'm excused from that. You know, people would probably obviously help through a GoFundMe, even if that was necessary. Dude, that guy is just taking such a risk on saying that because... There's no way you prove that something like that was stolen. Even if you don't own the copyrights to it, if this is not a original creation purely by you, you have no shot.
Shit. Now, what Scott highlights and something that I'd also like to talk about is what it could mean for the whole platform should this behavior continue. It would mean that if you, let's say, are doing a, video essay on a topic that another channel has covered, you might be at risk of them striking your channel down because you used the same image they used. You were covering the same topic and you may have used the same.
For the chested baby, some channel has already made a topic that you are gonna make a topic about in the future. Bam! You copy strike them in retroactive grade, my boy, You wanted to do a video on that, but they have already done a video a year ago about that stuff. Bruh, you copy strike them down. How dare they do a video on a topic you want to do now a year ago? That's just not how this goes, okay? That would be just a circus.
Same image, and maybe you just used very standard editing techniques like TV static effect, or a very common one you see in all video essays these days are the crumpled paper backgrounds. A lot of video essays today use the crumpled paper background. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So should this kind of shit continue, you could very well be next on the chopping block for someone who said, hey, I have a right to use the crumpled paper background. You have lifted my editing technique. This work is too similar to mine. Here's a strike for it. I think it's pretty obvious how that would be absolutely awful to the platform overall.
If someone does that... Okay, so here's an interesting twist on it, because this is actually a thing. If stuff like that starts happening, most likely these things are edited in programs like Sony Vegas and things like that. So if Sony Vegas has original crumpled background of its own and someone uses it in their video and a third party claims that, oh, you use the crumpled background that is on in default in Sony Vegas, that means that the person who copyrighted another video for using that crumpled background is gonna get sued by Sony Vegas, because these companies need to protect their copyright, okay? They cannot allow some third random party, to just say, yeah, the background that's in that program by default and yeah, you can't use it, only I can use it. The moment you do that, you get instantaneously sued by Sony Vegas. That is a real thing that will 100% happen if anyone tries to pull anything like that. So, you kind of need to be very careful what you copyright strike about. Because the thing is, if you are copyright striking something that is a part or fully owned in reality by a big corporation, bruh, the person getting strike just needs to email that big corporation saying that someone is falsely trying to claim their copyright as his own. And that company, without question, will go after that person who makes the false copyright strike. And they're not gonna mess around. They are instantaneously gonna go for the throat and gonna go for your life is now destroyed. Congratulations, you own us literal now millions for violating our copyright and trying to fakely claim what we own. It's actually beautiful.
So really the whole thing is terrible. This whole situation is really bad for YouTube entirely. I've only scratched the very tip of this iceberg with how disgusting this whole situation is. So I do encourage you once again to watch the Upper Echelon video as well as Scott Schaefer's video. Mutahar also just posted something about it, and all three of them are far more knowledgeable.
Ooh, Mutahar! That's gonna be good. He probably says a lot of very, very sophisticatedly smart things. I'm sure about that one.
On all of the nuance to this subject than I am. I just wanted to give a general overview of everything. And I'll just quickly try and cover my own ass before Alex Edson tries to stick his tongue in it. I'm just giving my opinion on everything. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't pass the bar. I can't say for sure if these are fraudulent claims or if it's an alleged abuse of the copyright.
Yes, obviously, that's right. The same way everything that I said is just an opinion, and could be wrong, could be right, I don't know. I'm just screaming into the void like everyone else. I have no idea. It's just personal opinion. Anyway, this was pretty interesting. This is pretty fun. I wonder how this is gonna end. What are your opinions on this, though?